welcome to another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. Folks, it's our job to give you some interesting bits in world of sports, entertainment, odd news, and whatever else we happen to stumble across in this hour-long show. I'm Rich Liebig.
And I'm Michael Costanzo.
All right, and we are ready to go here for another week's worth of news. Big week here in Philadelphia. We're going to get to all the news at hand. But, Mikey, my friend, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good. It was Easter this past weekend, so we got together, a whole bunch of food, all that jazz. But I also spent a lot of time watching some very dark documentaries. I watched the Alex Jones documentary.
Oh, you found time for that.
I did. And I watched the Quiet on Set, the Nickelodeon
Oh, yes, I watched
docu-series.
that, yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to touch on it too much because it's very dark, troubling stuff, but I've been in a real, dark documentary.
You're in a dark phase.
I'm in my dark era for all the Swift fans out there. My dark era. I don't know. But yeah, no, it's just, if you want to be troubled,
yeah,
watch both of those documentaries. They're awful. I mean, they're fantastic, but the content is you're like, God, you feel so terrible after watching them. It's great. Yeah, it was weird watching the Alex Jones one because I watched it with Jordan and my parents, and I was like, I don't think you guys realize because we had covered Alex Jones, not covered, but talked about him on the podcast, all the wild stuff he would say.
Yeah.
It was a semi-regular thing where you'd
Right.
bring in a random clip or story and we'd just go off on it. And I'm like, I don't think you guys realize just how out there he is.
Yeah.
And they're watching it like, oh my God. And I'm like, yup.
Yeah, there was a good year that we were using his sound clips as our sound clip of the week. It was
Because
just
he kept saying wild crap.
Yeah.
Absolutely off the wall stuff. And then it got a little too off the walls and we're like, all right.
Yeah, we were like, we should probably pull this back. This is
Yeah.
starting to get a little crazy.
But the documentary did a great job of just showing just how unhinged and troubling that kind of stuff is.
Yeah. But it's a shame because he really did provide some interesting content between
the sound bites were crazy.
between gay frogs and
What was it? Lady Gaga was going to brainwash everybody with her Super Bowl drones.
yeah,
Or
yep.
somebody was Satan. Was it Shakira or something?
everybody's Satan. at some point.
Everybody was Satan.
So everybody was in communication with Satan.
The
according
frogs
to
were
him.
gay.
The frogs-
Everyone was
yep.
Satan. Lady Gaga brainwashed people and mind controlled them. Weren't there people on Mars at one point, or babies on Mars, or there's some weird one with Mars.
yeah.
Just absolutely wild stuff.
Yeah. Well, the only thing that we have left from the Alex Jones era is the epic scream that he does. So
Yep.
I just love the fact because you can hear he's about to fade out and then he jumps back up with that scream.
He modulates. It's like a whole operatic performance.
Yeah, he really put thought into that scream. It's actually Alex Jones on a roller coaster.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's how he rides them.
But I'll tell you what, the documentary was. It was a roller coaster. So that's what I did. I watched a lot of dark documentaries. What about you? Did you? And I also watched Wonka, the new. I think it's just
yeah.
Wonka.
Wonka, yeah.
It was fine. It was it was no
That's the way I felt about Damsel the other week.
both Damsel and Wonka. It's
It was good.
the best way I can describe
But,
it is it is a movie that I watched.
Yes, how compelling.
That's
Yes.
It was fine. My favorite song, the thing that bugged me is that they had my favorite song, If You Wanna View Paradise, that classic one, right? And they changed all the lyrics to it.
So they actually referred from the songs in the original one.
They did. Some of them, yeah. That one specifically, but they changed the lyrics to the first half of it. And then this whole weird subplot where Willy Wonka helped a little girl reunite with her mom who abandoned her. And I was like,
Willy Wonka's now in charge of
and
the missing child
the
unit.
girl plot twist is related to the main antagonist somehow, but it's stupid because as my fiance said, they're the only 2 black people in the film.
Ah, yes.
So it's like surprise,
that
shock.
syndrome. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Got
So it was just it was a aggressively average movie. What?
Very good. Yep. That sounds.
It was
about
aggressively average.
Yep.
So.
Okay.
Timothée Chalamet, though, he did a good job. He was good.
All right. So there you go. Movie recommendation there.
What have you been up to, though? What average movie did you watch, if any?
No, not. I don't have any average movie recommendations now.
Do you have any good movie recommendations then?
Yeah. So actually, no. What we did was me and Rachel. We did another TV agreement, if you will.
Okay. I like those.
Yeah, we're gonna try and binge watch. One of our favorite shows a piece from each other.
Right.
So I'm watching Fringe. I never watched Fringe.
Okay.
And
I feel like that would be up your alley.
Yeah, and Rachel loves that show. So yeah, I gave it a shot. I think it's pretty
I watched
good.
like 2 episodes back in the day. It's from what I remember, it was decent.
Yep. And Rachel is gonna watch 6 Feet Under, and she's been sort of digging it. I don't know.
Okay.
I hope it grows on her.
Man.
I feel like she's in that middle realm right now.
The one and only time we tried that was Breaking Bad, and Jordan is like hard and fast, like will not move past the 3rd season. So
Yeah.
I lost my. I just have to pick a show that's not Breaking Bad. But that's a good system you guys have.
We're trying, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm more of a movie guy. That's the problem with me. Is like, I watch TV shows, but I'm more movies.
Yeah.
I like having a 2-hour or 3-hour limit. Like, that's it. I know, like, this is over.
Well, the problem with TV shows is that some of them, somebody's like, "Oh, you got to watch the show. It sounds really good," and you're like, "Wow,
Yeah.
that does."
There's
How long is it?
500 episodes.
Right, you're like, "Oh, it's 8 seasons, and it's only 12 episodes a season." I'm like, "Do you know how math works? That's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
That's like 100 hours of content. Do you have something that's more in the range of like 6 to 12?"
Yeah, it's
Like,
tough.
My brother's always pushing me to watch all these animes. And,
That's
and
rough.
like, no, but the plot will sound amazing. He's like, "Oh, yeah, people are stealing souls and doing this and doing that. It's crazy." I'll be like, "Oh, that's cool. How many episodes?" He's like, "Well, it's only 2 seasons. Season 1 has 52 episodes. And season 2 was a little bit shorter, had 41 episodes."
Yeah, 100 episodes. Ta-da!
Who's got time to watch that?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah, it's tough.
Nobody.
It's tough to get into a TV show if you didn't get in on the ground floor.
Yeah.
So
It is very tough. Well, good
but
luck with your streaming swap.
Yeah, that's going to be our. Oh, I like that streaming swap.
Oh, I coined that. That's
there
mine.
You go. Hashtag streaming swap.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're trying that out. Yeah, so that's what we're up to. And yeah, it was Easter, so yeah, we're with both of our families on Sunday. That was nice.
Nice.
Had so many ham and eggs because it was like the meat pies, the Italian meat pies.
Oh yeah.
You had all the eggs. Like, yeah, I was just nothing but ham, egg, and Italian wedding soup because my mom makes the homemade Italian wedding soup.
That's something that we stopped doing. I love a good Italian wedding soup.
Yeah, that's a
So
tradition
good.
for us.
So you guys do ham as you do the meat pie.
Yeah, we also do a rice pie too.
Every other Italian family that I know does a rice pie except for us.
Yeah.
I think I saw on TikTok it's from the Naples region. We're not from the Naples region.
Yeah, we're Napolitan. Yep.
There you go. Yeah, we're like the deep south, and we're like, what is rice? Apparently. I don't know. So yeah, we like literally every other Italian family, rice pie. I'm like, why can't we? It's so good. It's so tasty. It's like solidified rice pudding.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Yeah, it is.
It's so good.
Very good.
Yeah. And then the meat, everybody's got the meat pies.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those things too. Yeah, for Italian families is everybody has a meat pie, but everyone's got a different version of it.
There was one year, this is like the crowning achievement of my life, where I tried 4 different types of meat pies.
Yeah.
Because I had my own. One year you brought me a piece. I had a coworker who was Italian who brought me a piece, and then there was somebody on my dad's side of the family who made their own type of meat pie. And I tried 4 meat pies in 1 year, and every one of them completely different.
Yeah.
Like ours is like a stuffed bread. Yours is not quiche-like, but it's more like a bake.
Yeah.
But my coworker's was a quiche style. Like it was like mixed
True
into like
quiche.
like an egg mixture. And so was my cousin on my dad's side. And it was like, but like different types of crust, different types of bread, different types of fill. It was like magical.
We all have
It's so cool.
All the Italian families have meat pie.
Yeah.
but it varies from each family how
Yeah.
you make the meat pie. So yeah, it's one of those fascinating traditions.
Yeah, I love those traditions.
Yep.
But you know what else is a tradition?
Yes.
Getting to the actual content of the show. We got a packed show like always, and we always like to kick things off with a little bit of sports in the Sports Sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports. In your face. Ha ha!
That's right. Sports coming at you in your face here in this first part of the show. Let's do a quick update because we mentioned this last week. Shohei Ohtani, this is the news that shook the baseball world.
Still shaking.
Yeah, and I mean,
Quaking.
It couldn't have come at a more awkward time because this is supposed to be the, opening week of the season. So
better way to kick it off than with a gambling controversy.
Yeah. So we covered the details on last week's show about Ohtani. And he's pretty much doubled down on this story that
it was all the interpreter.
He's
That's
saying
what they say.
The interpreter, his close confidant, his interpreter was the one that wired $4.5 million from his bank account in wire transfers to an underground gambling ring in Los Angeles, which is very iffy. But right now that's the story that he's sticking with, and that's the story that his camp is sticking with. So as of right now, there's been no action placed against Ohtani, but like I said last week, if there's something that doesn't add up, this could be a bombshell to his career.
It's very suspicious.
Baseball does not mess around with gambling. Baseball has had bad history with gambling. And if anything comes to light that Ohtani knew about these payments going to gambling rings about it, then I don't know. To me, that sounds like he's on the Pete Rose path, which would
be awful for him, baseball fans and baseball in general, because he's supposed to be like the greatest of all time of this new generation. Like he can do everything. He can hit, he can pitch, he can field. He's just like a one-stop shop.
Once in a generation talent.
Yeah. But the big news here, the update here though, in this story is that there's no update. There's weirdly no charges being filed.
Yes.
Against the interpreter, right?
Yes. So basically, the ESPN lead reporter on this, I think her name is Trisha Thompson. I should have wrote it down. She has gone on multiple news talk, sports talk sites, and she has basically said that you would think that for a situation where someone stole $4.5 million, which, by the way, those are the words that Ohtani's camp is using.
It said stole.
Right.
It's not like
victim.
It's not like misplaced or made an oopsie daisy. Stole.
Yeah.
And made Ohtani a victim. When you're a victim, what do you normally do?
Yeah. Usually, you should be filing legal action against the perpetrator.
Right.
And so far, we're now a week since the story broke by Thompson's ESPN team, and she says that when she did her reporting back to Ohtani's camp, they have not confirmed with her that the interpreter has faced any legal consequences from this.
Could this be a case of they're waiting to find out more details? Do you think they're just kind of slow to make sure they're going through the due process and check everything?
Maybe, but
also, is it kind of suspicious that nothing's happening?
Yeah, my gut feeling is this is a little suspicious.
My gut reaction when you text this to me, I was like, this seems like they're trying to use kid gloves for the fall guy.
Yeah. It's like they're trying to help him out.
They're like, don't say anything, and we won't say anything.
Yeah, we'll try and do the minimum penalty against you.
Right. The lightest slap on the wrist we can do, just stay quiet. That's my initial gut reaction. It might not be that, but that's just the way my mind immediately, I was like, if somebody stole $4.5 million from me, which to be clear, I do not have.
Yes, please don't try.
But in fact, if anybody stole any amount of money from me, I'd be a little pissed.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know?
yeah. I love you, Mike, but you steal $4 million
You
from
keep-
me. I'm calling
You
the cops.
keep your hands out of my wallet, Rich.
Yeah. I'm calling the Ambler cops on you.
Absolutely.
You know?
I wouldn't blame you. So for $4.5 million to go missing, but it's not just the money, it's the damage to a rising star's credibility, their image, the city of LA, the team. Like, it'd be one thing to steal the money, it's another to potentially damage your career. I feel like, friend, confidant or not, I'd be super pissed.
Yeah.
And for him to
Absolutely.
be like, oh, no worries, bud.
Yeah, what?
Why give that much leeway to somebody who's potentially damaged your entire career?
Yeah. I don't understand.
Initial read, a little sus.
Yes.
I might be wrong, jumping to conclusions, but it just seems weird.
Right. So that's kind of the major update is that Ohtani's camp has not confirmed whether or not they're going to file legal action against the interpreter. The only thing that is in motion is still the task force that is investigating the underground gambling ring.
Well,
From Homeland Security, they're still looking into some of these details.
here's the wrinkle, because federal agencies, they could do something
They could.
separate from the team in Ohtani.
Right, they could.
And
But you would just think with the way that they are describing the story as to what really happened, wink, wink,
right.
you know, you would think that they would be on the front line. Hey, we need to
Right.
get, we need to get our comeuppance.
Absolutely. Well, my wrinkle is this. If the feds decide to press charges, do you then have a situation where the interpreter, to lessen his punishment, might be like, no, it was actually Ohtani?
Yeah,
Like,
maybe.
Depending on how this goes.
If he breaks, yeah, does he become a rat? Yeah, that's interesting.
It's kind of a tenuous situation there
Yeah,
for Ohtani and the Dodgers and baseball.
yeah,
Not good.
no.
Not good.
And we're going to keep an eye on it every step of the way because, again, out of all the leagues to do this with, I know football has had gambling issues with Calvin Ridley and a couple of other players, but the one you
baseball,
really don't want
yeah.
to do it with is baseball.
They'll ban you for life. The NFL is like, we'll just ban you for a year, but MLB is like, they are serious.
Yeah.
If you want to gamble, go to the NBA. Because
Well,
the refs are in on it.
No, we had the story on the player.
Which one? I don't remember.
It happened last week.
Clearly, he wasn't that big.
No, but they said that he was. Remember, he was saying he got injured during the game,
Oh,
so
wait,
that
that's
his
right.
under props would be hitting.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Sorry,
Well,
I guess gambling in the NBA only works if you're a referee. That's a serious problem that people have been accusing them of like the weird blatant calls or no calls. So
Jonte Porter, Toronto
That guy.
Raptors, he's being investigated right now by the NBA because
he'll be fine.
okay,
He's in cahoots with the refs. He made a bet with the he made a bet that he would be caught for betting. So
that's really meta.
that's
Wow.
really meta. Yeah.
No. But for those who don't know, this guy, Jonte Porter, he had a scandal where 2 games he was taken out of the game for suspicious injury reasons. He said one of them was he got hit in the eye or something, and then the second one was he suddenly got the flu. And
Like 8 minutes into a game. Oh no, the flu.
and a large number of under bets was made in his for his bets, for his sports book.
That's
bets.
super suspicious.
Yeah. And the rules are if you play a minute of the game or a second of the game, if you go in and you actually tag in, the bet goes on. The
Right.
bet's live.
Yes, he just needs to
So
go
all
on.
he had to do was go in, play a couple minutes, and then, I'm hurt. Oh,
Right.
I'm not feeling good. Oh,
Oh, the flu! I caught it right now.
right now, COVID. Oh, just hit
Oh
me
no!
right now. Oh,
the basketball gave it to me.
I got hit with the basketball.
I'm allergic to rubber.
I'm allergic to the basketball. Ow.
Oh,
Yeah, that's all it
man.
takes. So, yeah, the NBA is looking into it because, another potential gambling scandal.
If you're an athlete, don't gamble. It's as simple as that. Or gamble on things that are not sports. There's there's other things to gamble on. I feel like maybe
There is. That's the sad part.
there's
I
you
have,
can gamble on pretty much anything.
Oh,
I
my
bet.
God. I have a lot of gambling friends, and Oh my God, some of the stuff they bet on. One of them said that they bet on a darts league. Like, what are you doing?
Does that still count as sports?
Yeah, it's sports book. It's a sports book bet.
So you can't bet on that if you're an athlete.
Oh, I don't know. From the athlete,
You should be allowed to bet on other sports.
I don't know. It's too much of a gray area. You know.
Clearly, they're going to keep doing it.
Apparently,
I think the reality of it is they always did it. It's more accessible. It's more mainstream.
Yeah.
And there's more reporting on it.
Yep.
So all these guys have been doing it for decades, and now it's just in the limelight.
Yeah.
You know? So
also, it doesn't help that there's like 5 sports book sponsors every game.
Right. It's like, don't bet on this sport, but if you want to, you can use DraftKings.
Yeah. Welcome to Sports Center, brought to you by ESPN Bet, DraftKings Sportsbook, FanDuel, and PointsBet.
Yeah.
You know, like...
And now they're going to have all 4 major teams in Vegas, too. It's, you know...
what?
Or 3 of the 4.
Yeah, they don't have an NBA team
It's
yet.
a matter of time, right?
Should be. I mean, if you already got 3, yeah, you're knocking on the door.
They're not going to stop. They're going to be like, well, 3 of the 4, that's good enough.
No.
No.
Nope.
They'll get soccer in there, too, eventually. Well, they will. They could.
Yeah, they could.
And a darts league, bowling, do it all.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, there you go. That's the update on sports gambling with Shohei Ohtani. But, yeah, we'll keep you updated because it could, you know, if something just doesn't line up, Ohtani's in big trouble.
Suspicious.
Yep.
But we have other sports news to get to. Speaking of all the different leagues, the best one of all is the football league.
Which one? There are multiple, Mike.
The National Football League,
Okay.
of which our favorite team is the Philadelphia Eagles. We have a few free agency updates. The big story, of course, sadly, the Eagles have traded away star defensive end Haason Reddick to the New York Jets. The compensation, though, is interesting. In return for Haason Reddick, we get a conditional 3rd-round pick in 2026.
Woo! Yeah!
Now, if you're good at math like I am, that's not this draft or next year's draft. It's the 3rd draft.
I think that's the furthest timeline.
Is that the furthest time out you can trade?
I think so, yeah.
So, well, let's get into the pick itself. It's a 3rd-round pick in 2026, which is a millennia away in the sports world.
In the NFL, it is.
In the NFL, it is. Given that the average NFL player's life, like career length, is 3 years, that's literally
a career.
A career.
Yeah.
It could elevate to a 2nd-round pick if Haason Reddick plays over 67.5% of snaps and gets 10 sacks. For reference, in the 2023 season, where he missed a few games, he played 74% of the snaps and notched 11 sacks. So,
so you know what that means? That means like he's gonna have like 9 sacks going into the last game, and then they're gonna
sit him. Yeah. So, but I mean, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the conditional nature of it. Can he hit it? Let's talk about the fact that it's so far out. Rich, what is your gut reaction to this trade?
You know, it's funny. I'm not. Look, Reddick was gonna not be on this team this upcoming roster.
Oh, yeah.
This upcoming season, he was not gonna be on the roster.
It was just a matter of who and when and where.
Yeah, he wants a big time contract. The Eagles weren't going to be able to give it to him.
As a reminder, the figure floating around was $25 to $30 million a year.
Yeah,
that's what he was looking for.
That.
Absolutely not. He's going to be 30.
Yeah. So the writing was on the wall. Reddick was going to be gone.
Yeah.
So I guess get whatever you can get for Reddick because you knew, the Eagles did not have the upper hand in this trading position. Everybody knew that the Eagles needed to jettison this guy.
Right. Reddick wanted more pay, rightfully so, and the Eagles weren't in a position to give it to him. So there was no Disney ending where they were going to stay together.
Yeah. Now, on the other hand, for the Jets, it's kind of weird.
Right, because if you remember earlier in free agency, of course, they let Bryce Huff walk to us.
They had Bryce Huff,
who is essentially considered a younger Haason Reddick type end.
Yeah. In a weird way, I feel like the Eagles traded for a younger player and got a conditional 3rd-round pick out of this.
And that's kind of what people are saying. After the initial, Haason Reddick, we loved Haason Reddick. I loved Haason Reddick too. But after that initial wave of knee-jerk reaction, then it was like, well, we did sign Bryce Huff to replace him. We do have Nolan Smith in the wings. And we got this conditional third, which will likely elevate to a second-round pick, I think. So you're right about it essentially being a swap. But what's interesting to me is that the Jets viewed Haason Reddick as more valuable than Bryce Huff. And with that being the case, you have to ask yourself, do you trust the Jets' evaluation or do you trust the Eagles' evaluation of defensive ends?
Well, I mean...
I trust the Eagles' evaluation a little bit better than the Jets.
The Jets right now, I don't know.
And I'm not saying that Haason Reddick's going to have a bad year. I think that he's going to have a fantastic year on a good Jets defense. But I also trust Howie and that defensive staff. They know if there's one position they know how to draft and sign free agents, it's usually along the lines.
Do you have faith in the Jets?
No, not at all. Not at all. I think Aaron Rodgers comes back. I think he has a mediocre season. I think they go all in for like a divisional round exit.
Yeah, like the Jets have not made the smartest decisions in the last couple of years.
They're going all in this year.
They've tied their future to a 39-year-old quarterback who's coming off an Achilles injury.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
And he's still going to be playing on the same field that gave him the injury in the first place.
Yeah, MetLife. Good luck with that.
They're going all in because this is it. Aaron Rodgers is going to become the vice president. And they need
Kennedy picked somebody else.
Oh, he did officially?
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no.
Darn. Well,
we won't have a vice president quarterback.
After this season, who's going to go back into the dark or something. And so this is the Jets' last shot. The Jets do this all the time, though. They did it with Favre. They're doing it with Rodgers. Why don't they ever try to build for the future instead of build for, like, what was hot 3 years ago?
Because then they draft Sam Darnold and he goes nowhere.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's true. So, yeah, back to the Haason Reddick thing. Knee-jerk reaction, sad. But when you look at it, we have a smaller cap hit in 2025 when we're really going to need the cap relief. We get a conditional pick for the future. So 2026, we're already looking at multiple second-round picks, potentially. And we get a replacement for Haason Reddick. So it's not all doom and gloom if the evaluation pans out. You know, if Bryce Huff lives up to the potential.
Huff actually looks like a decent player.
He looks like he could be very good.
Yeah. So I'm fine with everything with this Reddick movement. And I want to say trade, but it wasn't a trade.
No, it wasn't. It was, the other thing I'll say is that even if Bryce Huff doesn't entirely work out, you also still have to grapple with the fact that Haason Reddick is going to be 30, and do you want to sign another 30-year-old player to $25 million a year? So even if Bryce Huff doesn't work out 100%, you're still preventing the team from clinging to aging talent. Yes. I mean, as much as we love these legacy guys to stick around, it can sometimes cause some problems.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think ultimately a tough but smart decision.
Yeah. Speaking of a tough but smart decision, we have an update on one of our old quarterback friends, Carson Wentz. News broke that he is signing with the Kansas City Chiefs as the backup to Mahomes.
Yep. A 1-year deal with the Chiefs. You know, this is just going to be the trajectory of Wentz's career from here on out. But I will say, if there is a coach to correct the Carson Wentz ship, it's Andy Reid. The guy knows.
Other than Dougie P.
Yeah, the guy knows how to coach up a quarterback. Will he get the attention in Kansas City? Probably not. You know,
unless Mahomes gets hurt.
Unless Mahomes gets hurt, I can't imagine Andy Reid spending much one-on-one time with Carson Wentz instead of Patrick Mahomes. But maybe, you know, he learns how to be coached a little bit in that environment.
Well, you know what Frank wants.
Well, he wants a Cinderella story, and now's his chance. Will Carson Wentz pull off
a Nick Foles?
The Nick Foles redemption arc.
He's in the slot now, and the Chiefs are favored to go back to the Super Bowl.
Wouldn't that be wild?
Yeah. That's a Disney
ending. That would
ending.
be absolutely wild.
That's a Disney ending, yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to end that way because that team is entirely reliant on Patrick Mahomes. Like, I know quarterbacks are important, but if there's a team where the quarterback goes down and they are basically nothing, it's the Chiefs. They have nobody on offense. They have a 34-year-old Travis Kelce.
Yeah. Woo!
Name another dude.
The guy that's being wanted for the speed for speeding and driving from the cops.
Exactly.
Why is this a thing with wide receivers, by the way? Why are all the star wide receivers having trouble with driving?
Don't gamble. Don't drive. Don't do anything really.
How about this?
If you're an athlete,
Can we present a new let's present a one sheet to all the rookies that are coming into the league this year.
Should I buy a stupidly fast sports car and race it down the street? Yes or no?
Yeah. Please do not buy expensive sports cars. Please do not gamble at all.
Right. Just a one-page cheat sheet.
Yeah.
You know?
Please do not become.
Don't gamble. Don't race. Don't drink and drive.
Please don't become 8 different baby daddies for women out there. You know,
yeah, keep it in your pants.
they're all doing it. It's like a trend.
Yeah, it's awful.
And it's all wide receivers.
You take young guys, give them tens of millions of dollars, give them all the access and attention in the world. Of course they're going to do dumb stuff. They're 21, 22
but
years
it's all
old.
the same crime.
It's all the same stuff. Yeah, I know.
You think there'd be a variety of
Somebody just slap him and be like, knock it off.
Yeah.
Just be chill.
Don't buy a sports car. Don't bang.
I saw that
20 chicks.
he was leasing it. He didn't even buy it.
Oh, great.
He was leasing.
Yeah. Ugh. Anyway.
I don't know what he was making, but really, you lease? You can't afford to buy it outright? Come on. Do better.
All right. Well,
Anyway.
that's the news from the NFL. But before we leave the sports world, we're going to do one last segment. We're going to do a 3-minute drill topic. We're going to hit a topic in 3 minutes or less and discuss. You ready, Mike?
Let's do it.
All right. Clock is armed. There you go. What do you got?
Well, as everyone knows, March Madness is happening for both the men's and women's basketball, college basketball leagues, except the fact that the NCAA made a big error recently. They mismeasured the three-point line on one side of one court, but not just for one game. No, this was across 5 different games played on this court.
Yes, this is true.
And apparently no one noticed.
Nope. This happened in the Portland bracket of the 64-team March Madness for the women's division.
And I think we have a picture here.
Yep, a fan noticed that if you look he took this picture right from half court. You look at the left side, it is smaller. The three-point line is closer to the rim than the standard, which is on the right-hand side.
Yeah, and it's not a huge difference, but there is a visible difference. There's at least a foot or two. And, everyone's like, oh, a foot or two, a foot. Yeah, but a foot or two over 30, 40 shots a game, it may add up. And here's the big question is, what does the NCAA do about this? Well, guess what? I have an answer for everybody. Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
5 games, that's a lot of games in a tournament like this.
It is, but what realistically can you expect them to do? They can't. They have to stick to a specific schedule.
They can't. Yeah, it would be. Think about the logistics of rolling back the tape and looking at every shot on that side of the court for every game. But then it's not just the point total, it's the strategy.
Yeah.
That's wrapped up in it as well, because you say, well, if they had this many points versus this many, maybe they play differently here and differently there. So they just shrug their shoulders and say,
Yeah, it's just tough luck. I'm sorry.
Tough luck. That really sucks.
And they kind of have to just run with it.
Yeah.
Look.
You can't change the whole bracket because of this.
And look, they switch sides of the court.
They do. So the logic goes, it should balance out.
Yeah. So, both teams had their opportunity to have the shorter three-point.
Both teams had their advantage. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think you can really argue that there's that much of an advantage done to the field.
Because they both got a shot.
Right. But I will say that this just gives women's college basketball another black eye. It's just there's not enough fandom to support women's basketball. This is a sign of it, in my opinion.
It's a shame.
You have the Bill Burr skit that told women start supporting WNBA before you start demanding women in the NBA. I mean, like, it's kind of true right now. I don't know. I hate to say it, but what a ridiculous thing to go wrong in the NCAA. That was actually somebody in the NCAA.
That was actual audio. It is a shame, though, that the NCAA doesn't pay enough attention to get even the line markings right.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
They literally just entrusted, I guess, one or two dudes that painted the court. You're just like, all right.
They didn't double check to make sure that
they know what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But true story there.
Weird stuff.
Yep. And there you go. That will wrap up sports. Yep, there you go. That wraps up Sports Sampler for now. A lot that we had to talk about, actually, there. We had a good chunk of the news there.
Covered a lot of different sports as well.
Yeah.
Baseball, football, basketball.
We didn't even get
Screw you, hockey.
We didn't even get into Joel Embiid coming back to the Sixers.
Oh, yeah. Well, he does that every couple of weeks. It's okay.
And like you said, the Sixers are just cursed. They're
terrible.
They're not going to do it.
They're going to be out in the second round. Don't worry.
Yeah. Second round again. Here we go.
Third place, out in the second round. Calling it out. Put all your sports back, unless you're an athlete.
Yeah. But for right now, the only thing that we can bet on is we got to take a break. And another bet that we'll be right back with the entertainment entree and the non-fortune cookie odd news when we return. Don't go anywhere. This is the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby,
Barnes & Noble,
and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
We're going to talk about 22-year-old Matthew Kyle Letham, and he decided to call police at 4:45 in the morning because he couldn't find a ride home after the bar at 4:45 in the morning. But that is not the actual oddity of this story. Police encountered Matthew Letham on the scene, and that's when they noted that this dude actually has a tattoo of the state of Florida in between his two eyebrows.
Oh my God.
Yes, and I have his mugshot. So here we go.
He's literally Florida man.
Yes.
He's like a superhero Florida man, and that is like his logo.
He is Mr. Florida Man. So
I mean, you know, it's the most harmless Florida story we've ever had.
Yeah, except for the fact that dude has a tattoo
stupid
that will last the rest of his life that he cannot hide.
You cannot undo that. Every job interview he goes to, the very first thing they're going to see and question is the Florida tattoo. Yeah.
It's literally like, can I touch it? Like, it's right there.
You know the scene in Austin Powers Goldmember? The guy who has the mole?
Yeah.
Moly, 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 moly. Yeah. It is that, except with Florida on his forehead. Is anybody more proud of their home state than that guy? Nope.
Can't say it. I can't say.
Nope.
I can't think of anybody else.
Nope.
So,
I love Pennsylvania, but not that much.
No, I do not want. Pennsylvania is a big state too. I do not want that on my forehead.
It's very square or rectangular. It would, yeah. What's the weirdest state to get tattooed to a forehead? I think. What do you think would be the weirdest one? I mean, I think Florida because the way it's shaped.
Florida's pretty weird. California would be weird because it's
very long,
and then it juts out.
No, Michigan.
Ooh, yeah. Because they got
Michigan.
all those like Great Lakes and stuff.
Yeah, and it's split in half.
Ugh. Yeah, that would not be good.
That'd be a weird one.
Yeah. Ugh. Oklahoma.
Alaska. Oh, Oklahoma. I was gonna say Alaska.
Oklahoma, you have to get the box, and then you have to get that little dinky panhandle that goes the other half of your head.
You're literally making yourself a unibrow, and then like it has like a little hat on it.
Yeah. Ew.
What about Alaska? You have that whole chain of islands coming off the side. It's gonna like go around the side of your head almost.
Yeah.
This is the dumbest conversation we've ever had. In in 8 years of podcast, I think it's safe to say that talking about the weirdest state to tattoo to your forehead, probably the dumbest thing we've ever talked about.
It's 2021, man.
And we were like actually analyzing. You're like, oh yeah, and the islands, and we're like, yeah, that makes sense. There's something fundamentally broken with us, Rich, in 2021.
It's 2021. Nothing makes sense anymore. It's that simple.
The pandemic's gone on too long, Rich. We've hit a breaking point.
Yeah. All right.
Next week we're both going to show up with states tattooed to our foreheads.
Dear God.
Just a moment. You just assured me that I could speak.
Sit down inside the car. We're not assuring anything. We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what?
Come on.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Get some cups.
Why did you do this to me?
Hop in the car. Get some cups.
For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Good one. And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? Now, get your hands off there.
No, we've only got one cup.
Ta-ta and farewell.
So I guess get him in the car.
One cup, look. They even broke.
Oh, yeah, we're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. We are done the sports sampler. I've got the Wrestlemania Classic music playing right now because we're going to talk a little bit of Wrestlemania in just a bit.
Some wrestling news.
Wrestling, yeah. Big weekend here in Philadelphia, so we'll get to that in just a quick second. But there's other news to get to in the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty? Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, entertainment entree time, and we're going to hit it off with the segment where Mike is going to let you know what you keep an eye out for this upcoming weekend, what new movies, TV, and video games. It's Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what do you got for the fine people?
All right, first up in theaters, Monkey Man is a new action thriller movie. Monkey. It's a new action thriller movie and directorial debut of Dev Patel of Slumdog Millionaire fame. He's also writing, producing, and starring in the production. Here's the synopsis. A famous young man ekes out a meager living in an underground fight club where, night after night, wearing a gorilla mask, he is beaten bloody by more popular fighters for cash. After years of suppressed rage, Kid, that's his name, Kid discovers a way to infiltrate the enclave of the city's sinister elite. As a childhood trauma boils over, his mysteriously scarred hands unleash an explosive campaign of retribution to settle the score with the men who took everything from him. Dev Patel might have a decent debut on his hands because the film currently has a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes with an average rating of 7.7 out of 10. So if you're looking for an action thriller, go check out Monkey Man in theaters this week.
Are you going to be disappointed if they don't play Monkey Man by the Rolling Stones?
I actually don't know that one.
Yeah, oh, monkey! It's the song that plays when Henry Hill thinks the helicopters are the FBI agents when he's high on cocaine in Goodfellas.
You think I remember that?
Oh my God, it's so good. That's such a great scene.
It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
He is like just tripped out on cocaine and he thinks this helicopter is following him.
I feel like if you name a movie something that has another cultural reference in it, you're obligated to use that thing.
I would
right?
think so.
I think so. I think that's a law.
Yeah. Yes,
or it should be. It's an entertainment law.
We have decreed it so.
That's right. Well, I have another entertainment law for you. You also have to check out a TV show this week. We had The Social Network. Well, how about The Anti-Social Network? Memes to Mayhem. In my new dark documentary era, this is a documentary hitting Netflix this week that details the evolution and involvement of the internet and its role in perpetuating real-world chaos. So the trailer suggests that it will probably focus specifically on anonymous corners of the internet, such as the infamous 4chan, and how they contributed to modern-day conspiracy theory culture that's gripping both the digital and real world. So some uncomfortable, unsettling things, almost Alex Jones-like again.
Oh, we're back to Alex Jones again.
Always back to Alex Jones. Well, thankfully, one place where Alex Jones can't get you is in video games.
Not yet.
Not yet. And a new month equals new free games for PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live subscribers. But in terms of new games, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC gamers can check out Turbo Golf Racing. Available this week. Rich, this is for you. Imagine Rocket League, but instead of soccer, you're racing rocket-powered cars to literally drive and launch giant balls around a golf course. This vehicular golf racing game, as the developer puts it, is exactly the type of golf that I've been begging for.
Yeah, this is
all
your
these
idea.
years. This is my idea. It is
You've always wanted speed golf.
Yes, and what better way to do it than with rocket-powered cars? And you literally have to race to do it. This is an online multiplayer game for up to 8 players, and I can't even begin to imagine the chaos of like 8 people hitting golf balls with rocket-powered cars at the same time. It's going to be insane.
There's only one problem with this, though.
Which is, it can't be real. I know.
It can't be real, but also, like, there should be an option that, like, if I'm running with a golf club, I should be able to whack you and, like, you get penalized. You have to stay behind for 5 seconds or something. Like,
I'm pretty sure the game has things like, I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea what the game is about, but it said rocket-powered cars that golf, and I'm like, okay.
There you go.
I'm at least part of the way there.
There you go. Mikey is sold.
I am sold. So that's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
Thank you for that segment. But there's another thing that you should keep an eye out for this weekend, especially if you're in the Philadelphia area, because this is going to impact the city, traffic, everything like that, because Wrestlemania is here in Philadelphia for the first time in 25 years. A very exciting weekend for professional wrestling fans.
My God, what the hell's going on tonight?
That's right. A lot of wrestling fans are going to be asking that this weekend. WWE coming to town, putting their Super Bowl of the year right here in the city of brotherly love. Very excited to see it here. I wish I could have got tickets to it, but it's just mad expensive to go.
Oh, I imagine.
To Lincoln Financial Field. It is super expensive. But
and then the parking.
Yeah, very, very much so. It's gonna be a nightmare to drive around Philly. I hate to say it for anybody that lives in Philly or trying to do stuff this weekend in Philly. Don't. It's gonna be Unless you're actually going for wrestling events.
Don't do it.
No, it's going to be crazy this weekend in Philadelphia.
This is like the Super Bowl of the wrestling world.
Yes.
Speaking of the link, right?
Yes,
It's like the
exactly.
biggest event.
For WWE, yeah, it's their diamond event of the year. This is what all the storylines boil to. This is when everything comes to a
That's
head.
what it's culminating to, yeah.
Yeah. And WWE has expanded it now to 2 nights. So there's going to be night 1 Saturday and night 2 on Sunday. So lots of things to cover, lots of matches to watch. If you've got Peacock, you can stream the whole thing. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be cool. For me, it's going to be cool to see, like, oh my gosh, this is like in Philly. So I'm sure there's going to be, all the Philly references. I'm sure there's going to be a Rocky
this, Rocky that. Yep.
The big hot topic that has been rumored on a couple of wrestling blogs is that WWE wants Jason Kelsey to make a WrestleMania appearance. I mean, he is a hero in this town.
Oh, yeah. And also, I feel like Jason Kelsey, wrestling, I feel like those two things go together really, really
It sounds
well.
like Gronk Part 2. It sounds like this would be...
I feel like it's better than Gronk. I feel like Gronk is kind of like the big Neanderthal type person, but Jason Kelsey has the actual persona too.
Yeah.
You know?
He loves drinking a beer with the fans.
He loves, yeah,
He's like a Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Everybody saw him at the Bills playoff game.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the dude, or like even the Chiefs Super Bowl parties and stuff that he was part of with Travis. I mean, absolutely wild. Like, he's the perfect character to join a wrestling thing as a guest. Now, I don't know how this works. Do they have these guests, like, get in the ring? Do they, like, play? Do they do, like a pretend match? Or
Sometimes. It really depends on what he's open to.
I watched Jason Kelsey jump through a flaming table, like, the day after he retired for his podcast. So I'm just saying,
he might have the chops to do a match.
I don't think that he would say no to jumping off the rope.
That's dangerous.
It's dangerous, but he would. This is the dude that brotherly shoved like 400 times the past 2 seasons. Like, he has no problem with like putting his body through punishment, and especially if it's in a controlled environment. Like, football's kind of uncontrolled down there at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah,
but in wrestling, it's a little bit more controlled. Like, he's absolutely, if he's there, he's throwing a punch. And he's taking a punch.
He's going to do a move or something. He's going to do a stunner. I could see him doing a stunner.
Bouncing off the rope, flying across the ring, and just doing
or
something.
Clothesline, something.
I think if he was asked to be part of this, his response would be, "Okay, but do I get to fight?" I don't think he's gonna show up and just be like, "Hey, Philadelphia, let's get ready to rumble." Like, no, like he's gonna want to throw a punch.
Yeah, and pretty much WWE is they kind of base it off of whatever the guest star is willing to do. There was also a year, I showed this to Rachel actually a couple weeks ago. There was a year where Drew Carey he made a guest appearance for the Royal Rumble that was in Cleveland, and they actually put him in the Royal Rumble.
Nice.
Like, he actually had a number. He had an entrance. He walked through. He went through the ropes. He entered and then he threw himself over the top rope.
He threw himself over
because the gag was that after his number rang, the entrant that came after him was Kane, who's like 7 feet tall.
So he
handles fire from his hands.
So he just jumped straight.
So
out.
he was like,
nope.
"Yeah, I'm good." He just jumped right back out of the ring. So,
oh man, I'll tell you, people in attendance, if they are actual like Philadelphia fans, they could be in for a big treat then.
Yeah.
If this is true, Jason Kelsey's he's gonna want to have like an actual moment.
Yeah. So if you're heading to WrestleMania this weekend, you might see a surprise entry into one of these matches or a surprise match because Jason Kelsey is rumored to be crashing WrestleMania this year.
That's pretty cool.
It sounds like it'd be right up his alley.
Oh yeah,
it's Gronk
Absolutely.
Part 2.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Gronk did it. I think
if Gronk can do it, Kelsey can definitely do it.
Yeah. But one more thing I want to mention with WrestleMania, and this is something like I kind of just spitballed with Mike before we started the show. It is amazing how WWE has really kind of made a great turn. I mean, when you look at WWE 3-4 months ago at the Royal Rumble, Do you remember that? Like, that was when fans were kind of not sure whether or not this WrestleMania was going to be good. You all of a sudden had the Vince McMahon disgusting sex trafficking scandal break on the Wall Street Journal.
Yeah.
You had WWE picking up CM Punk and not really sure, like, is he even going to work? Because he got let go out of AEW, which was supposed to be his like comeback tour was with AEW.
Right.
So there was kind of like all these big question marks. Like, do you remember it? To me, it seemed like 3-4 months ago, WWE, there could have been a lot of things that could have went wrong heading into this WrestleMania. And of course it would have been in Philadelphia, really making us look bad.
Where things go to die.
Right.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was definitely a point where it seemed like the tides were turning against WWE, but I'm reminded as they're kind of righting the ship that they're a huge, Titanic-like institution, where Titanic maybe is not the best analogy, but they're a big monolithic institution where you would need something really bad, like even worse than the McMahon thing, to destabilize them. Because at the end of the day, you see it all the time in all the other professional sports leagues. Some controversy or scandal or awful thing happens, and like give it a month or two, and fans just like, yeah, that was the thing that happened, but back to business as usual. You don't get to be a multi-billion-dollar corporation and let little things like sex scandals get in your way.
Well,
it sounds very cynical, but it's almost like sometimes these sports leagues are so big that it almost doesn't matter what happens to them, sadly.
I mean, you could take that angle with it. I would say I'm more amazed at how the storylines have developed and the characters have developed going into this.
That they have complete control over. I mean, that's the one thing about wrestling that is a huge benefit, is that, people get upset over like a championship matchup in a sport, but with wrestling, they have complete say over what that matchup is.
Yeah.
So
but
it's their biggest strength.
But see, that was another thing too leading up to this. Remember, we had the whole thing with The Rock kind of taking over, and people were like, "Is he getting too much power too fast?"
He inserted himself.
But then the writers were able to make up this little gimmick where The Rock was secretly in line with Roman Reigns this whole time, and it worked. Because now Cody Rhodes is back in the WrestleMania main event where he originally got kicked out.
Wrestling is just absurd. The secret alliances.
Yeah.
I mean, that is really their biggest strength, though, is that they can pull stuff like that.
Yeah, they can retcon things.
Yeah, they can. They're like, oh, it was just a ploy, or somebody wronged somebody, and now they're pissed and they switch sides, and they can make whatever storyline they want, and as long as it involves the right characters and has enough drama behind it, they can sell anything.
Yeah, and honestly, I think they've done a great job going into these final weeks heading into WrestleMania. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm curious to see how this weekend's going to go. And I think that's a testament to how WWE's run. They've done a really good job. They had a lot of things that could have went wrong. They had a lot of things that were being thrown at them that really could have been far worse.
Yeah.
If they had done something else wrong, or if they'd stuck with The Rock coming back to boost the ratings.
I will say that it does speak to their willingness to change.
Yeah.
That's what helped them weather their storm. But as you're talking about this, I almost am reminded of like when people launch criticisms at like in the world of movies, because I'm more well versed in movies like Disney. They're like, oh, I don't know, Disney has all these problems and everything. Like, they'll be fine. Like WWE is kind of like an institution like Disney. They'll figure out a way. They're savvy enough and they have enough money where they can kind of wriggle their way out of almost anything.
Yeah,
and it still takes a lot of effort and time and money to perform the wriggling, but they'll do it. They'll get there.
Well,
and this is a testament to them wriggling.
Well, I think they've done a lot of wiggling and making sure that things were on the right pace, and I think you put in the notes, weather their storm. I think that's a good way to put it. They've really come out of this storm looking good. And I'm sure the rival wrestling league, All Elite Wrestling, they must be shooting themselves in the foot.
If there were a time to take down WWE, it was over the past 6 months.
Yeah.
And they didn't capitalize.
And not only did they not capitalize, but 2 of their stars left for WWE and are like the face of the company now. That's on a whole nother level of utilization to me. This would be like in football, like a team just cuts like a running back and a wide receiver, and then another team picks them up, and they instantly become the number 1 running back and the number 1 wide receiver the following season. It's
like even more so, it's like on a direct rival team.
Like, yeah, how did you do that?
Yeah.
Like how did they go from so useless in one league to so utilized in the other? It's crazy.
Right.
It's a testament to how WWE is putting everything together. So definitely looking forward to WrestleMania this weekend and checking out some of the matches and seeing who wins and who comes out of there. But I do want to see what Philly-related things they're going to do for WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah.
There's
definitely a lot of Rocky.
Definitely going to be a Rocky reference. Jason Kelsey, I want to see what his spot is.
That would be fun. I'm looking forward to the videos after the fact.
Definitely,
Jason Kelsey
definitely going to be a cheesesteak thing. I'm sure there's going to be something with cheesesteaks.
I want to see somebody eat a cheesesteak in the ring.
Or someone's going to like throw a cheesesteak. I don't know.
Instead of a match, they have a cheesesteak eating contest.
Sure, why not?
Make it happen, WWE.
Why not? But there you go. That is happening this weekend. Something else you should keep an eye out for if you're interested in that. All right, and one more topic here in the entertainment entree for video games. This is a development with a possible pro version of the PS5.
Yeah, so in the last console generation, obviously, we had the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro. Console manufacturers introduced the concept of a mid-cycle refresh that also increased the actual power and capabilities of the consoles. So some hardware specs are starting to leak, leading to speculation that a pro version of the PlayStation 5 could be out before the end of the year. Now, the big question, as always, with the pro version of consoles is, do we actually need them? And this time the question is even more so because from what I'm understanding of the rumors, fans are kind of, mid on the entire development, but also specifically developers are really not feeling it either. There's not a lot of enthusiasm from the development community who are supposed to be building games to support the increased specs. So let's talk about what the increased specs are. It would support 8K resolution. It would allow a more stable frame rate at full 4K resolution. And it has some kind of AI improvements and machine learning incorporated in it. I don't know what that entails.
Yeah, that seems very vague.
Very vague, but there's a whole bunch of other nitty-gritty, like increasing ray tracing by a certain percentage and this by, this percentage. But, my initial reaction looking at the leaked specs, 8K resolution, that's a marketing gimmick at this point.
Yeah, I mean, who has an 8K TV?
Like almost nobody.
That seems very
But even if
unnecessary.
even if you have an 8K TV, you're going to play 3 games on it? Because absolutely no streaming service or cable provider promotes 8K content.
Yeah. That kind of reminds me of I was actually watching a little documentary about this. Do you remember, if you look at the Nintendo 64, you know that there's a little lip in the front of it?
Yeah.
That lip was supposed to be for a memory expansion pack.
Okay.
And it was supposed to be a way to extend the life of the N64 by using more memory for the games and stuff.
Right.
Supposed to be this whole exciting thing.
Yeah.
How many games used it?
Probably none.
One.
There you go.
It was Donkey Kong 64, I think, off the top of my head.
Because that was the most technically demanding game, apparently.
Yeah. So it's like, if nobody's using it,
this...
I don't think it's really going to be a success.
This actually, I said, maybe incorrectly, that the last generation introduced the concept of a mid-cycle upgrade, but it's always kind of been a thing. The PlayStation 2 had a bay in the back where you could add a network adapter.
Yeah.
To play network games like SOCOM and MMOs.
Yep.
I forget, I think PlayStation 3 introduced the concept of like adding in your own hard drive, which thankfully is still a thing that you can do and is very easy. But then last generation we had the Pro edition, and this year again, it looks like we're getting a Pro edition. So it's not necessarily a new thing, but maybe it's a thing that's kind of waning, because as technology continues to get better and better and computing power gets more and more powerful, it's almost like diminishing returns. Like on your TV, like, do you even notice the difference with variable like resolution? Like if something's in like 1440 versus 4K or upscaled 1080?
I don't know. I think I would need to see like a compare with like a side by side.
But like, do you ever think about, like, I guess for me, maybe I'm a casual gamer now. I don't know. But I'm thinking I just want to play fun games. I don't care if it's in 8K versus 4K.
Well, not 8K. That's ridiculous. I mean, no TV, there's no content that's really 8K.
No.
You know, so that's kind of gimmicky. That's a little iffy. But I will say, like, things where the games have, or the systems use the HDMI 2.1 standard instead of HDMI 2.0.
Yeah.
Or like if Samsung has like a game mode specifically on the certain HDMI ports, they do matter a little bit.
They do in terms of
crisp.
They do in terms of actually the biggest factor is the input lag.
Yeah.
But the actual visuals, I mean, I think they're just fine where they are, I guess is my point. I don't think that the Pro demonstrably makes it any better.
For this, what you've read here for an 8K resolution, all this stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, there's other things like it's going to make ray tracing better. But when's the last time you're playing like Spider-Man and be like, oh man, if only this ray tracing was 24% better. Like
exactly
almost never. When you're playing a PlayStation exclusive, I'm never like, man, if only the shading in The Last of Us Part 2 was 18% more crisp.
Ugh.
This game is ruined.
This is stupid.
Like, I don't think... Maybe I'm wrong, because I'm also the type of person that's like 30 frames per second is fine in most cases. So maybe I'm just a Neanderthal
maybe
when it comes to video games. But I don't think this Pro console is needed. And I think the developers here are...
Well, that's the ultimate detail.
Yeah.
If the developers aren't going to utilize this, then it's not really worth it.
Yeah. They said that...
It's just a one Donkey Kong. That's it. You're going to have one Donkey Kong game that's going to be able to use it.
The report that I saw said that developers the enthusiasm is like near non-existent. And it's mostly because they haven't taken advantage of the PlayStation 5 yet.
Yeah.
Like they haven't even tapped out the power that's already there with the custom hard drive that's in the system. That
Yeah, how about here's a new rule. Try and get the max you can do with the original PS5 first,
right,
before you think of a Pro edition.
Right. And I just worry, it's not like this is going to be a misstep, like Sony's not going to lose money on this or anything like that, but I'm sitting there like, why? Like, I'd rather have like, I don't know, like a new portable device or like a better Pro controller or like, something different that actually affects the gameplay instead of, a Pro version that nobody wants to develop for.
Yep.
So, I don't know, I feel like I'm getting older and older where I'm just like, I don't know why we need new things. Why can't we just keep the same old thing that I like and know?
Well, you keep going down that path, you might be on the road to PC gaming.
I don't know if I'll ever get there. Although I will say this. For the first time ever, I'm playing a game where I'm like, this would be 1,000% better on PC. I bought and have been playing Planet Zoo. Holy hell. That game needs to be played on PC.
Well,
I'm enjoying it a lot on PlayStation 5, but the amount of minutia in that game, like I had a disaster with my hippo pen. Because they need not only a certain amount of water space, but a certain amount of water depth. And I'm like, I can't. This is too many numbers for me.
All right. Well,
anyway,
maybe you should get into PC gaming.
I might have to.
All But we'll wrap up the entertainment entree there and go to our third and final segment. Folks, it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing.
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Manda basata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts. That'll be $4, baby. You want fries with that? I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at Meat Tornado.
No, go past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders, go to the bathroom, because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo! Odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news here in this segment. Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all of my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing these stories for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. Why are you grinning over there already? It's making me nervous.
Yeah, you should be a little nervous.
Is this from Pennsylvania?
No, I have an update for you.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
okay.
you're right there. You go right there. That's
Every time there's not a news update, it's always bad. It's not. It's never like, and everything ended up fine.
No, and this is definitely one of those updates. We're gonna.
So who whipped out what sexual organ?
We're gonna replay the case of 32-year-old Stephen Masalta.
Oh yeah, wait, we just talked about him.
Yeah, last week. Remember him?
Yeah, vaguely.
Yes.
Remind us.
So this guy, we talked about him last week, literally. He was caught touching himself in front of coffee shops throughout the Colorado area while he was in custody. They had a warrant for his house, and that it was when cops found a cache of videos where he did a lot of gross things, including
the fruit.
Yes, including
touching
himself and finishing on supermarket fruit, vegetables, and baked goods that were unsealed.
Oh no!
Yeah, we're back to this guy.
That's right. I remember the sticky buns.
Because you suck, Hulk Hogan, and you suck Hulk Hogan ass.
Thought that would be appropriate for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Well, they've gone through more of his cache.
Oh no! Do the videos get worse?
Yes, they do.
Because they can't certainly get better.
That's right. Yeah, it's not going to get better.
When you start by finishing on grocery store produce, I'm almost certain it doesn't go up from there.
Yeah, it doesn't get better.
Okay, so what else did he finish on?
Okay. He in this cache of videos.
Oh no.
He filmed women that did not know that they were being videographed.
Oh, yikes.
Yep. They also found that he drew various women to the physical appearance that he wanted them, and then drew. Yes.
Okay,
so
creepy.
he's
So like art tutorial videos.
He's a little artiste. Yes.
It's like this is how I wish they looked.
Yes.
Creepy.
He also drew ejaculating penises on top of them. So yeah, just
creepy.
Oh yeah,
again.
Oh, good for you.
This guy has like serial killer written all over him.
Yep. But another folder in the cache of files showed that he was a member of the New Life Community Church.
Wait, did we talk about that before?
No.
Are you sure? Okay.
I don't think so.
All right. It sounds vaguely familiar, but maybe not.
Well, I hope it's not for anybody that's listening, because he had an entire cache of videos from New Life Community Church in which he placed a phone that was recording video inside a tissue box on top of a toilet in the women's bathroom.
Oh, no.
Oh, good for you.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
And then
Oh, there's more?
he took the cell phone with him, went into the church when he was supposed to be cleaning the church, and touched himself into the church while recording him doing so.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
This guy
just can't quit.
This guy gets around. Supermarket, church,
Coffee shops, church, yeah.
What the hell is this guy on?
Everywhere but his own house, apparently.
Is he eating nothing but oysters? What is this drive? He is just going everywhere. Boom, 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 boom.
Is he eating nothing but oysters? He's just like slamming back oyster after oyster.
Dear God.
Oh my God, that's a very unfortunate and expensive habit.
Yeah, and now he's doing it in the church.
In the house of God.
Yeah, one who's supposed to be cleaning it. He volunteered to clean it.
He's making it more of a mess.
Yeah.
Is that why he's cleaning it? Because he makes the he's the one that's making the mess?
Yeah. And then another thing, it also turns out to make the story even worse that one of the stores that he did the finishing of the fruits, vegetables, and baked goods.
Oh, Lord.
He worked there as the night manager.
Of course he did.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Man, he probably was trying to get a job at the coffee shop too. This seems like a pattern. Like he gets a job somewhere, or is involved in a thing, and then he does that. What? There's more?
Yep. Also have one more thing here.
Oh my God.
During a search of his internet history.
Oh no.
Masalta shows multiple times throughout January, February, and March of 2024 searching for, quote, prostitution in Denver, Colorado.
It's about to get all stupid up in here!
This guy, he is just all the time. I gotta relieve this pressure.
He just can't stop.
No,
just can't stop.
This guy.
Damn.
It's just rolling.
It's just constant. Multiple times a day, every week, every month until he get caught.
Dear Lord,
man, he's just rubbing it raw.
Yeah. How do you not get chafing at this point?
It's just, oh man, that's awful.
Yeah, so it's definitely unbelievable that there's even more crimes he's going to get charged with, in addition from the ones that we mentioned last week.
I mean, it just keeps coming.
Yeah,
literally.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Multiple detectives do insist that he will face additional charges from the report last week. And he's scheduled for a May 10th court appearance. So
he is so done. He is so done. Coffee shops, grocery stores, churches, internet history.
Is this going to be like a weekly thing? Like, I'm going to get another bulletin next week?
They found more, and they found more.
We found another computer with his weird kinky
He did it
stuff
at an auto parts shop.
Oh, by the way,
he did it. What?
If you want to have an inventory, they're up to 3 different cell phones, 2 different laptops, an iPad, and 4 flash drives.
Dude, what are you doing?
That's how much stuff they got to comb through.
Oh my God. Why does he have that? This has minor serial killer written all over it.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
multiple personal phones and laptops.
Yes. 3 phones, 2 laptops, an iPad, and 4 flash drives.
4 flash drives?
Take that.
How much content do you have?
So much that
he's got to take it on the go.
So much that last week wasn't enough. It spilled into this week.
You might have another update.
And it might spill into next week.
That's a lot of stuff to comb through.
We might have a trilogy of this guy.
I love the fact that he has it on flash drives because he's like, I need to take this on the go.
Yeah.
I don't want to put it in the cloud because then I'm going to get caught.
Yes.
So I'm going to put it on a flash drive and take it with me. But also record it and get caught anyway.
Right. Yeah. So
was the flash drive for his own videos or for like content that he found that he wanted to save? Or like all the content is him though, right?
Yeah, it's all him doing gross stuff.
He's got way too much time on his hands.
Yeah. So
get a job, like a real job.
No, he can't because then he starts.
He does that at
finishing at his job.
Never mind. Don't get a job.
Yeah, this is one guy who shouldn't get a job.
Do the opposite of that.
Yeah. Because
just be lucky he didn't work in
he's
fast
spreading
food.
his DNA every job he goes to.
At least there's plenty of evidence. Are they going to have to swab like every apple and orange at the grocery store?
No, they don't need to. They have the video footage.
Oh, that's true. They have the video.
They caught
footage.
him red-handed.
They don't need those swab it.
Yeah.
Just that grocery store had to eliminate all of their produce, right?
They had to. Oh yeah.
They had to have. They can't be like,
no,
it's fine. We'll just spritz it down.
No,
you got to get rid of all of it.
So that is the update from 32-year-old Steven Masalta. He is literally just assaulting everybody.
Masalta is assaulting my view of the world.
Yeah, and it might not be over. We might have another update.
It's going to be a weekly story.
At this rate. But there you go. That's the update for you.
Oh man!
How about this? Let's get to the actual Florida news that I was ready to go with this week, and run it with there.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
Get back to regular, respecting Florida people.
That's right. Get back. Get back to Florida, where it all makes sense.
Yeah.
We come home once again to Florida.
All right. This happened on Saturday afternoon. A couple decided to bang in front of a sidewalk in front of a Popeyes.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
Why not?
Nothing says romance like a bucket of chicken. Hey, honey, you want to get some drumsticks?
Take your damn clothes off.
The sidewalk just sounds awful.
Yeah, that's how that.
Like we had a story a long time ago where people were doing on the sidewalk, and
it was Florida.
It's always Florida. It's never not Florida. People just like the sidewalk. It's hard. It's not comfortable.
Yeah.
2, it's Florida. It's boiling. You're like frying eggs on the sidewalk. It's hot. You don't know.
Take your damn clothes off.
And then also the publicness of it. You're not even trying to hide. You're not even like behind a bush. You're in front of a store.
And you're in front of a Popeyes.
And a Popeyes.
Everybody likes Popeyes.
You could have picked a slightly higher class establishment.
Everybody loves Popeyes.
I haven't had Popeyes or KFC or anything in a while. Like, weirdly enough, this story makes me want to get some fried chicken.
Okay, Mike, there you go.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
You want me to leave you alone for a little bit?
I think I'll manage. I'll be okay.
All
For now.
right.
I can keep it under control.
All right, well.
Yeah, in front of a Popeyes on the sidewalk. I'm assuming that's where they got caught.
Yep.
Because people coming out of the Popeyes are like, hey, that's interesting.
Responding to a report of lewd behavior, deputies located the couple having sex on a patch of grass that was across.
Okay.
So
they're in the grass.
Slightly more comfortable.
Okay, that's better.
They were trysting on the patch of grass in between Popeyes and U.S. Highway 1. So they definitely had an audience.
Wow, okay. All right.
Let's get to bashing butts as well as these nuts.
Yeah,
location.
Yeah, they definitely had an audience.
Trying to get that highway traffic.
Yep. According to the arrest report, the cop noted that it was 70-year-old Arnold Mackey
That I was not expecting.
making a thrusting motion. That's in the police report.
Oh, okay. Cool. Thank you for that clear description.
Making a thrusting motion on top of 44-year-old April White.
I don't know. There's an age difference.
Yeah.
26. Hey, man.
Look, you got to do what you got to do.
You got, apparently.
I'd buy that for $1.
Would that be a chicken sandwich there?
It's a value meal.
I'd buy that for $1.
He's got somebody 26 years his junior.
Yes. Banging them in front
And
of
fried chicken. That's a good afternoon.
Yeah, that's a pretty good afternoon. Yeah.
That's a pretty good
That's solid.
afternoon.
Yeah. And you got an audience watching you? Yeah.
I mean, why not?
The cop.
Easy access to the interstate. You can go about your daily business afterwards.
The police report noted that when the cop approached the couple, Mackey, quote, appeared flustered and was unable to pull his shorts up.
He's just so flustered.
Yeah. What are you doing here?
Oh, my goodness. I was not expecting this at all.
Yeah, how dare you?
What were you expecting?
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
That's always the thing that gets me. People that do this, they're always like shocked. Like, oh, I can't believe I got caught. What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
In the middle of the day, in the middle of broad daylight, in the middle of a basically a parking lot separating a Popeyes and a major highway.
Saturday afternoon, too.
Saturday afternoon. Everybody's out and about. It's Florida. It's nice out. People are doing stuff.
Everyone's trying to get their lunch.
Yeah. He's like, I'm totally surprised. The cops are here.
When the cop confronted the woman, White claimed that she did nothing wrong and that this is her right to do so. Yes! Welcome to America!
Is this covered under the First Amendment? Is this freedom of speech?
Take your damn clothes off.
Something just came over me and I took my clothes off.
Yes!
I don't know. Maybe
this is America.
Maybe I missed that amendment. Did they ratify a new one? I don't know.
I haven't done anything wrong.
It's my right.
This is my right. This is America. It says it right in my Bill of Rights.
This is one of the founding principles of this country.
Freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of religion, and freedom of
to
pants.
Bang in the Popeyes parking lot.
Yes. Freedom of clothes. Yep. Unfortunately, this is when White actually started to get a little violent.
That's not good.
Yep, she shouted various obscenities at the cop.
Ooh.
And tried to fight the cop. So
see, that's a one-way ticket to jacking up the charges.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not in the Bill of Rights. No,
you do not have a right to that, folks.
No.
Or anything else in this story.
No. I am the law! No, you do not have the law.
She thought she was the law.
You betray the law!
You do not have the law on your side if you try and fight the cops. So she had to be restrained on the ground. That's when the cop noted that they found 4 empty bottles of vodka and an empty bottle of rum.
That'll do it.
Wow.
For just the two of them?
For just the two of them? That's
how big? Like full size?
Yeah, I guess your standard handle.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. That is
how are they
lot.
not dead, actually?
That is a lot of alcohol.
In the Florida heat? At 70? This man should be deceased. Actually, no. Don't send him to jail. Give him a Medal of Honor.
We need to study this guy.
They need to do testing on him. Be like, sir, what is your secret?
Yeah.
5 bottles, Rich.
Yes.
You said 4 bottles of vodka.
4 vodka, 1 rum.
And we're assuming standard size.
Yeah.
Not little airplane size.
A motorist who served as the eyewitness in the police report says that he did a double take on the highway because he couldn't believe what he was seeing. He says that the female had her legs spread open and the male was going to town inside of her.
Why? Every time with these stories, the descriptions are so wild. They're like, and what did you see? Well, let me explain it to you in graphic detail.
We got to explain what happened in the police report.
It's never enough to just say, like, 2 people were having sex. He's like, It's helpful that he provided sound effects too. It's probably what the guy sounded like.
Yeah.
70 years old with 5 bottles of liquor in him.
When they were arrested, Mackey said that he was sorry and, quote, it was not my intention to expose myself.
Again, people do this. You can see where you are. You're not like, I thought it was in the bedroom.
I thought we were in the backyard.
Yeah, right? My backyard looks just like this. I was confused. No, you weren't. Somebody's putting a drive-through order 4 feet away. On the other side, you got 18-wheelers racing down the highway. You're standing in a highway hell strip.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong.
Just love that little bit. Oh, it wasn't my intention. I'm
It
sorry.
wasn't my intention. What was your intention, sir? What was your intention?
Did you think you were in the back of the Popeyes or something? Did you think you were in a private area?
Although I guess with that much liquor in their systems, Popeyes can look like anything.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, well, let's wrap this story up. White and Mackey were both arrested for exposure of sexual organs.
Yep, there it is.
I know you love that.
Yep.
White, though, got additional charges because she fought the police. She gets resisting arrest and disorderly intoxication.
Yeah, don't hit police officers. It's generally not a very good idea.
Well, apparently it's not that much. White's bond is set at $7,000. Mackey's was set at $5,000.
So it's only an extra $2,000 to hit a cop?
Yeah, there you go.
This is the thing that we say it every time that we don't understand how they come up with these figures. It seems completely random.
Yeah.
It's like $5,000, right? That's the baseline for exposing sexual organs.
Right. They were banging out in front of the highway.
So she resisted arrest. She fought back. She was disorderly.
Yeah.
And that's only an extra $2,000?
Yeah, only $2,000. Sure.
That seems nothing.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's weird.
We
It should be the other way around.
We need to get a judge or something. We need to investigate how these crimes work.
Interview an actual legal professional and be like, "Hey, we got some questions here.
Yeah.
How do you figure this stuff out?"
Right. But there you go. That's what I have for you this week in the non-Fortune Cookie Odd news. And that will officially start to wrap this one up. We have been through the ringer. A lot of things happening in the world of sports, entertainment, and odd news. But we got to start wrapping this up. We're starting to get a little bit late here. We're getting the signal. We got to start wrapping this one up.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it was a good time.
Yep.
We covered a lot of good, interesting stories, some weird stories.
Yeah. And I think we got a big preview coming up. A lot of big things happening soon in the world.
Oh yeah.
Between WrestleMania and some Final Four action with March Madness coming to an end, and
we'll get there eventually.
Yep. And Eagles news. Yeah, we had a good gauntlet of topics. I feel like this week.
Yep.
And an update too. We might have more on that guy, that creepy guy.
Who knows? It's the story that keeps on giving.
Yep. So, to make sure that you're up to date and you are ready to go when you hear our updates on all these topics, make sure you're subscribed to our podcast. 2 main ways to do that. Number 1 is on YouTube. Go to our YouTube page, hit the subscribe button, and you'll get the episodes sent right to your YouTube account. Second main way is through Spotify. We publish the video podcast on Spotify. You can get it through there. But you can also use our podcasts and use Spotify in the background, listen to us as an audio-only podcast, and take us with you that way. Also using Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, you can take us on the go, so you can listen to us in the car as well. If you're traveling to Florida or Colorado, or good luck.
Yeah, good luck, really. But the podcast will get you there.
Right. So 2 main ways to do it, YouTube and Spotify.
All right, so many ways to check out the Crispy Noodle podcast. But if you need to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories, you can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I'm at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on Twitter. Let us know what's happening. Any odd news story, make sure it goes to me so that Mikey doesn't see it. But If we use your topic on a future episode, we'll give you a sausage shout out. So why not? Send it our way.
Yep.
But right now, it's time to wrap this one up. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.